Hi everyone, I'm going to carry out a break-even analysis on MG's ice cream shop. So I'll begin by plotting in the axis. In the y-axis we can see the cost-revenue, and then in the x-axis is labeled by quantity. In this case, the quantity is the number of ice cream units sold. The first step then is to add the total revenue curve. This curve begins at 0 because at 0 units of output sold, there is 0 revenue, and as quantity increases, total revenue increases as well. Also, the slope of this curve is determined by the price of the product. Next, we can add the fixed costs. In this case, fixed costs remain the same in the short run because they do not depend on the level of output of the firm. They act independently in the short run. And this can be seen because the line is flat. This means that the fixed costs remain the same throughout time. The next step is to add the total cost curve. The total cost curve begins at the same point as the fixed curve begins because even when there's 0 level of output, there's still an amount of fixed costs that need to be paid by the firm. This means that even when the firm is not producing, not selling, there's still fixed costs that it has to pay. And that is why the total cost curve begins at the same point as the FC begins and then increases. Because as well, when quantity increases, total costs increase as well. Once we have these three curves plotted, we can figure out the break-even point. The break-even point is a point in which total revenue equals total costs. This means that the firm is not producing any profit or any losses. It's being able to cover all of its costs. Here we can see how the BER point is created, which means break-even revenue, which signifies the revenue made when the firm is operating at the break-even point, and the BEQ, which can be seen here, which is the break-even quantity, which is the quantity, of course, that the firm needs to produce in order to operate at the break-even point. And as I mentioned before, the break-even point is created, which is a point when TR equals TC, when the firm is being able to cover all of its costs and is not making any profits or losses. It's just like stable. As a result, we can figure out when the firm is making losses. In this case, anything producing at any level of output that is left of the break-even point means that the firm is not being able to cover its costs, and therefore it's losing money. And anything at the right of the break-even point means that the firm is producing a profit. Let's imagine an example. If the BEQ is 10 levels of output and MG's ice cream shop is selling 15 ice creams, then it's producing profit. However, if MG's ice cream shop were to sell 8 units of ice cream, then it would be producing a loss. Okay, and why is this important? Well, a break-even analysis is important for every firm, especially for new firms that are entering a market and they need to cover up its costs. So the first objective of this new firm, this small firm, is not to make profit, but to cover its costs and stay stable in the market. Once they have reached this break-even point, it's within the firm's best interest to start producing profits. However, reaching this break-even point is extremely important for all firms, since it means they have successfully achieved a certain level of output and price that will cover all of its costs. There's also this term called the margin of safety, which is the distance between where the firm is actually producing. In this case, it would be Q1, and the break-even quantity, the break-even point here, which is BEQ. Firms aim to maximize the distance between these 2 points because it means they are maximizing their potential profits. If they have a higher margin of safety, it means that they have a higher chance of making more profits. They could be operating anywhere within this area. Therefore, having a higher margin of safety means that the firm can make more profit and maybe and it's going well for them. Personally, I believe I've learned a lot about break-even analysis, and I feel confident I've learned these terms. Also, I took Well, I'm currently taking economics higher level in the IB diploma, and in microeconomics, in theory of the firm, we learned all about these curves, the total revenue, total cost curves. Therefore, I feel I'm familiar with many of these terms. What I learned last year in school has helped me a lot understand this much quicker, and I now feel I'm really confident about it. And yes, and that's all. Thank you for listening and watching.